back to another video game analysis. And we are on the uh, last year, last video of this year is what I meant to say. That's what you come here for, right? Me screwing up my vernaculars. Anywho, today we're talking about Star Fox to end it all off. I like doing some big topic I really like to start off and end off the year. So yeah, we're gonna do one big overview of how Star Fox's series works as a whole. And I'm gonna touch on the characters themselves. I really don't think of much as a character analysis because Star Fox isn't just one character. Yes, Fox McCloud is the star, but Star Fox is a team. So it is really hard to just say, oh well, with Mario, you can describe Mario's character. With Zelda, you can describe Zelda's character. Let's face. Yes, people will say they don't have that much, but either way, well, let's just get started. So the big thing with Star Fox is always a series that shows off new technology, and there's a lot of series Nintendo would do that for as a whole, and especially with consoles like the Wii or the Wii U, all the games are made to show off hardware differences. But with Star Fox, we started off with the FX chip. This is the most well-known game to have that, and the FX chip made this possible. Political models, bleh, 3D environments like such. And I always described Star Fox, and I did when we talked about Star Fox last time. I described Star Fox a as a game that speaks. How do I put this? Star Fox is a space shooter, and we've seen a lot of space shooters. A lot of space shooters. Now the thing with that is, a space shooter usually goes in a flat direction. You can either go up or left and right, horizontal or vertical. And, you have games like Galaga or whatnot, like Galaxius stuff. Like a lot of like space games are the thing, and there's still a lot of games in space nowadays. But people love making the space games, shooting in a rocket, flying around, shooting enemies. And this game had the idea, hey, let's make it so instead of going up and down or left to right, you're going forward into the screen. Like, it's not just one screen at a time. And for the Super Nintendo, before the N64 too, where there was this idea of 3D environments, that being the future of video games, that was really impressive. All this stuff, you're going forward, you're going into the screen, into the depth of the screen. You're not going up and down, you're not going left and right, you are going forward. This is a 3D environment. Yeah, today's standards is not the best looking thing in the world, but this was very mind blowing. Everybody has to say that when they talk about Star Fox on YouTube. So at Star Fox, it starts off as a game everybody loved, and the series itself kind of went in weird directions, but overall the fan base is strong and it's got some really good stuff going for it. This game in particular, it showed the world that Nintendo really likes to push limits and really likes to discover new ways to play. It's always been a part of their way. It makes money. Well, let's just not think of Nintendo as just, hey, we like to make games for the sake of making games. And also, I really stink at this game. I want you guys, this version of the game, I really stink at. I want you to know that. Just so I have my excuses out of the way. But yeah, overall, a 3D game for the Super Nintendo, that was pretty mind blowing. And to point out the fact that, and the fact that they took a very traditional style of game, the space shooter, and made it into the 3D environment, is something to be admired, which it was, and it still is. Star Fox, like we talked about before, Star Fox has its fan base, and it continues to have its fan base to the point where we got Star Fox Zero because of fan outcry. It's really good stuff. So that's how everybody talks about Star Fox. It's just was a groundbreaking game. So when Star Fox 2, so many canceled games came out of Star Fox, and it really is a shame. And like I said, Star Fox's lineage of titles as a whole have been weird. Like there's been like with Star Fox Adventures, there's a drastic change into the RPG style Zelda-like thing, which not many people liked. I thought it was okay, but what is important to me was Star Fox Adventures added a lot to the story, and Star Fox, the story is pretty bare bones when you play the games, but when you're looking underneath it, there's a lot of cool stuff going on, especially with the GameCube titles and the DS titles like Command and Assault. They add to the world. They add to the characters themselves, possible endings. It was all really well done, and I personally was not very big on. I was personally not very big on them revamping Star Fox again. I mean, I'm okay with it. Like the game as a whole. Like I play Star Fox for the games, I do, but I liked what they were going for. I liked the world they were building. Looks like they're rebuilding it. They're using Star Fox 2 elements, a lot more of them than they did with 64. Um, but they did a good job giving the Star Fox spirit. But at the same time, it's like I kind of miss Crystal, and I kind of miss a lot of the stuff they established in the Star Fox universe. But I'm sure this series will just bring it all back. I'm hoping that the Star Fox Zero will start a lot for future Star Fox games because it did well. I like the new game quite a lot. Yeah, Star Fox 64 really was a remake of the first game, but for good reason. Like, you wanted to upgrade that kind of game. It did look plain. It did have flat surfaces, not much going for it. There was a lot of personality in the game that the Super Nintendo held back because it was such a ahead of its game time kind of game, being a 3D adventure. And since Nintendo 64 was all about 3D, it was only natural for Star Fox to go in that direction. Um, could they made of Star Fox 2? Probably, but I think the way they ended up doing it was better off. But Star Fox the 64 was a really popular game, no matter what, no matter what it was based on. It did really well. It played with all the ideas. It really made like I see it as it made what the developers of this game, Miyamoto, envisioned this game to be with this game. And they would go further with that. They would move on from that. There's a lot of things they would do to improve the games. The GameCube surprisingly had the most installments in the DS. I think there was a Game Boy Advance Star Fox game, but I'm not sure on that. I think so. So, you know, there's me being stupid. But overall, what I like about Star Fox, and a lot of fans like about Star Fox, is you can play this game in a day. You can. Like, it's similar to what it's based off of. Old style, good old space 'em, shoot 'em up games. You're in a spaceship, you're going through space, and you're shooting stuff. You're shooting enemies. You're getting points. You're trying to upgrade your lasers and weaponry. It really does play to that style of game. So, but what makes it different is you have all these different paths you can take, all these different conditions. Like if you lose a party member, one of your teammates, you can't move on to this certain level. If you hit a certain amount of enemies or go to a certain direction, it completely changes how the story plays out. And you can have a best scenario where you're looking really good. You can play all the levels. You can play. There's a lot of replayability in this game because of that. And that's new for the space shooter. Not just the fact that this is in 3D, but the fact that you can play it in so many ways is also really great. And Star Fox ended up doing that as a whole, except for when they did some big changes, like they did with the Star Fox Adventures. But overall, the experience of Star Fox is what people come back for. It's like you can shoot a lot of stuff in rocket ships, but no one does it like Star Fox. There's a lot of shifts in how Star Fox worked. There was a lot of new ideas tried, foot missions that everyone hated. Star Fox tried to do directions that maybe didn't work that well. And yeah, everyone hates the fact that Star Fox got revamped again. Everyone's saying Star Fox Zero is another Star Fox 64, and nobody really has a huge problem with that. There's not really much protest to it, but at the same time, you can see both sides. Personally, I get it. You want to capture new fans. You want to make sure it's digestible because there's so much that happens, so many characters, so many side things that happen in Star Fox that they reference. The continuity would just be weird. But overall, Star Fox played on old style games. The space shooter, very popular, and most of arcades were space shooters. And then they would bring it and over to revamp it to use showing off new technology. Like you recognize a space shooter, and then it helps you understand what Star Fox is trying to do with the 3D environment, the FX chip. So Star Fox always had that history of showing off technology, and there's a lot of series like that. Nintendo has a lot of things. I mentioned a couple of series in the past that Nintendo used that for, like Kirby, for example, um, or like WarioWare. That's a great game. That's a great example. That's a great game series that is made to show off specific functionalities of the hardware. But Star Fox Zero, finally, now we have a moment to show something off. I'm surprised they never tried anything with motion control with the Wii, but I doubt anything would be totally efficient with the Wiimote. But the gamepad makes a lot of sense, and we'll see how that works right now. So last time we talked about Star Fox, we were talking about why people wanted the game, why the fan base really wanted to see a new installment. But here it is. We got what we needed. It just shows the power of the fan. The power of the consumer. And Star Fox Zero really nails it. I like Star Fox Zero quite a lot. I love the controls. I love feeling like you're a pilot, a combat pilot more specifically. And I love the idea that I don't have to almost crash into something to shoot something. Look, I'm going in a straight line, lots of space. I just gotta make sure I look up at the screen now and then. This is kind of a texting and driving training kind of game if you do that. Disclaimer, don't text and drive. I do not support that. It's not cool. But Star Fox Zero, here we are again. We made it to the point where, and I think they call it Zero. I mean, I know they said a real, but I think Zero is a good name because, and I think they chose it that way because Star Fox Zero is me being stupid. I did in all three parts. Star Fox Zero is the beginning, the prime. They made a nice demo thing recently on the Wii U where you can watch a nice little video. It had the training, only had training mode from this game, but also had a nice exclusive little video, little cartoon you can watch of the Star Fox crew. They put a lot more personality into them. It was fun. It was really nice. They made Peppy like a father figure, and all the rest of them were like boys. And the games looks great. All the delays were worth it because this game looks great. It plays great. It's a lot of fun. It takes some getting used to, but it's new. It's new technology. It's showing off a new way to play a video game. It's a shame people are so against this kind of thing half the time, trying these new kind of ways to play. And I love the convenience, and I'm still getting used to it. I'm still not that great at it. I'm only a few levels in with this game, but overall, I really like what they're doing. I really like what Star Fox is accomplishing here. The future Star Fox games, I can't wait to see, especially with the way they redid the story, what they're planning on doing, because you get interest in the Star Fox team. They're all very distinct personalities. I like the idea they were based off a puppet kind of thing. It was like animal puppets. More things we understand. The idea of cartoon animal things. We're used to that in media. I love that stuff. I love what they're trying to accomplish. I can't wait to see the future here. I can't wait to see what the NX will have in store for Star Fox. Let's hope they do. I would imagine this would be one of the games they port to the NX. I heard they're also going to do that for Smash Brothers and Splatoon and whatnot. It's going to be fun, and the future of Star Fox is going to be really interesting. Overall, I know it's going to show off some really cool thing that the NX can pull off or whatever. I don't know. Well, I don't know what they're going to do, but the way they have a lot of potential here. They set up a lot of great potential, just like with the first Star Fox game. They set up a lot of great potential. Let's hope there's not going to be any canceled games this time. I think this is their point where they're really, especially with Platinum working on it, and they do a great job. I think this is the point where they're really going to start focusing on Star Fox because they lost focus on it. It slipped, Ha, slippy. I couldn't make a proper pun, so I pointed it out. So that's our show. It's been fun. I love doing this every summer. Can't wait for next year. And I don't have a Wario hat, so I'm just going to say next year we're doing Wario. That's where we begin with. Thank you all for joining me. It's really cool having a new room. There's a lot more space in here. I have access to everything. It made this the recording process here a lot simpler. There's delays. I had trouble this summer. I'll do a channel update, but overall, it's been great. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you if you're new, thank you for coming in. It's been really great. If there's anything I missed, if there's anything I got wrong, if there's anything you would like to add to the conversation, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. You should like, you should share, you should subscribe. I'll be back soon. I would like that if you guys help me out. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Billy, your video game analyzer. Have a good day, good night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you next time.